Today we will be multiplying polynomials by using the distribution method. This is TEKS from Algebra 2.7b. So distribution method is a way to multiply where you take one term and you're going to multiply it by everything inside the parentheses. So you would take 5x and multiply it by x. Then you would take a positive 5x and multiply it by a positive 4. So 5x times x would be 5x squared, because when you're multiplying variables, you add the exponent. So x to the first and x to the first becomes x squared. And then 5x times 4 becomes 20x. And this becomes your final answer. So again, this is to get into the how to use distribution method with other polynomials. So for our example number 2, it's the first term, and we're going to actually multiply that by everything. So we have 7x squared, and we're going to multiply it by x squared. Then we have a positive 7x squared, and we're going to multiply it by negative 2x. And then we have a positive 7x squared, and we're going to multiply it by 3. So that's what it means when we're doing the distribution. So 7x squared times x squared becomes 7x to the 4th. Then 7x squared times negative 2x. So 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. And x squared times x is going to be x cubed because we add the exponents. In the last term, we have 7 times 3. That'd be 21x squared. And this is your final answer. Okay. I showed 5x times x, and I showed 5x times 4. I showed it here. I'm actually not going to show this step every single time, but I wanted you to know where these numbers came from. So now let's look at how to multiply 2 terms times 2 terms. This is, again, going to be distribution method. So what distribution method is, it's going to look like factoring backwards. So we're going to take this first term here, this 5x, and we're going to multiply it by everything in the second parentheses. Then we're going to take that negative 1 and put it in the middle and multiply it by everything in the second parentheses. Okay? So we're going to distribute here and here. Now on the first page, I'm going to jump back real quick. So on this case, I'm going to do 5x times x, and I get 5x squared. Now I have 5x times 4, and I get 20x. Now do the other side. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Then negative 1 times 4 is a minus 4. And now to combine like terms, 5x squared has no other like terms. And then I have 20x minus 1x. That becomes a positive 19x, because I combine these two together and then bring down the negative 4. And this is your answer. Okay, so again, this looked like when we did factoring, factors of AC whose sum is B. So again, this is factoring backwards, and you'll get that answer. Okay, so the second one, I'm going to take 2x, remember I'm going to cut this in half, and I'm going to multiply it by everything in the second parentheses. Then I take the plus 3 and multiply it by everything in the second parentheses. I'm going to distribute and distribute. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x minus 6 is minus 12x. Plus 3x minus 18. Then we're going to combine those two like terms together. So I have 2x squared minus 9x minus 18. And this is your final answer. Okay? I have 2 more to do. Ready? So this is 2 terms times 3 terms. It's still going to follow the same rules. I'm going to cut the first one in half, and I'm going to take that 2x, and I'm going to multiply it by the whole second parentheses. Okay. Then I'm going to take that plus 5 that's right here, and I'm going to multiply it by the whole second parentheses. So I'm going to distribute this all the way, and I'm going to distribute this all the way. And I'll go ahead and use 2 different colors when I distribute. So the first one, I'm going to get 2x times x squared is 2x cubed. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. And then 2x times negative 3 is minus 6x. Now with the second side, 5 times x squared is positive 5x squared. 5 times 2x, so 5 times 2 is 10x. And then 5 times negative 3 is a negative 15. So now we have to combine like terms. These are not going to necessarily be in order. So I'm going to look for my x cubes first. And my only x cubed is this first one. So I'm going to bring this down. Next, I'm going to look for x squared. I have 4x squared and I have 5x squared. That's going to give me a 9x squared. Okay, then I'm going to go to x's. I have negative 6 plus 10. That is a positive 4x. And last but not least, I have my constants at the end. Okay, so my constant is going to be this negative 15. I have no other, so I'm going to put this at the end. Okay, and you can always pause this video and rewind it if you need to. I'm going to do one more question. Okay, now I have 3 terms times 3 terms. So it seems like a lot, but we're going to break it up here and here. Okay, so we're going to start with the x squared and we're going to multiply it by everything in the second parentheses. And yes, you should always have this step written down. Then I'm going to take that middle term, that minus 3x, and I'm going to multiply it by everything in the second parentheses. And then I'm going to take that plus 1 and I'm going to multiply it by everything in the second parentheses. So distribution method is multiply here, here, here. So I'm going to start with x squared times x, x to the 4th. And I'm just going to keep multiplying those 3 terms. Okay? Now the middle one, negative 3x times x squared. Negative 3x times 1x, that'd be negative 3x squared. And then negative 3 times negative 4 is negative 12x. Okay, then I'm going to distribute the 1. What does a 1 do when I multiply it? A 1 does not change any numbers. So plus x squared plus 1x minus 4. So again, I'm multiplying it by everything in the parentheses. Now combine like terms. Let's start with x to the 4th power. I have x to the 4th power and there's nothing else to combine it. And I'm just going to cross off the numbers when I use them. So I'm going to underline, I have x cubed. So I have 1 minus 3. I have negative 2x cubed. And when you use it, if you want to cross it off, you can cross it off, whatever method is better for you. Next, I'm going to look at my x squareds. I have negative 4 minus 3 plus 1x squared. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. Negative 7 plus 1 is a negative 6x squared. And when I use them, I cross them off to make sure I don't try to use them again. The last one, well not last, negative 12 plus 1x is negative 11x. And last but not least, my constant goes at the end. So this is how to multiply polynomials by using the distribution method.